Now, let me ask you this. You've been in business 5 years.
Yeah.
You know that, I don't know if you know this, I'm sure you do, but like 97% of businesses fail within 5 years. So like you made it past that point, right?
Yeah.
Making it past that point. Now, did you have like a time in the business where it was like, okay, this is a turning point and like we're good? Like, did you catch that somewhere? And what year did you catch that? Or if you did catch that?
We haven't even caught that yet. I don't even feel like we're good.
No.
No, I mean, we're cash flow positive, things like that, but I don't feel like we're good yet. I think with the contract that we just signed with the city of San Jose that we'll be executing in January, where we're working, we've got 65 classes that we're going to be doing 3 days a week. I think that's going to give me a little bit more breathing room, wiggle room. But even that, you got to invoice that every month as well. So I don't feel like we're there yet. And the thing is, that's fine because I've never expected that. I expected get to the 5th year first, just survive to get to the 5th year. Right, thriving is another thing, but survival, making sure you built a brand, making sure you have a team that is intelligent enough to stick with you for this entire journey. Right, a team is huge, and then it's like I don't feel like we've really done anything until we get to our 10-year mark. Right, that's the mark of a company for me. Is 10 years.
So today on the Clutch podcast, we've got Mr. Shannon Sevor. He is a gym franchise owner, and he has the territories of the Bay Area. That's Mr. Right. Shannon. So Shannon, tell us about your story, and then tell us how you kind of got into the gym training, personal training space.
Yes, thanks, Steve. Thanks, Steve, and I really appreciate you having me here. I know our story goes back almost 4 or 5 years now when we first met in that networking group, B&I. And it's great to see your journey, great to see all your success. Nothing but love for you for all that. And I appreciate you having me here. GYMGUYZ, in a nutshell, the way I can describe it, we're number one in-home personal training. So we're not a gym at all. We're personal trainers. We provide a service. I like to consider us the Amazon or Uber of fitness because we bring it to your doorstep, and we're going to meet you where you're at. Whether it's dealing with cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, depression, Alzheimer's, dementia, we're here to serve those individuals, the 75% of America that does not attend the gym or get 150 minutes of the American Heart Association recommended exercise for the week. So that's who we serve. That's what we do in a nutshell. It's convenient. It's customized. It's creative workouts.
Awesome. I love it. So tell us about your backstory. Was personal training something that you always want to get into? I know that in the past you've kind of, I know you've always been a physical athlete. So were you wanting to be a gym trainer, or were you always a gym trainer previously?
Never been a gym trainer.
Okay. Been
a gym rat though. That's what I'm about. I've always loved training. Since I was 14 years old, that's when I first started. That's when it's funny. What got me into training, I don't know, you're probably too young to even. I think I'm like 8 years older than you, but I remember listening to Genuine. I don't know if you remember that guy.
I remember Genuine, yeah.
And he had that song, My Bonnet, My Pony.
Yeah, right? I remember that, yeah.
And he was just doing his dance. I was like, man, you got a six-pack. Like, that's what's up. Like, man, how do you do that? Right, so then I just got curious and started researching. I was like, man, I want a six-pack. I want that, right? And that's what got me into training, really, honestly. That was really what it is, just working out every day in my room. And then I had a passion for sports and being an athlete. I played college football. I played pro ball. And that's something that I always keep with me, that level of motivation, dedication to really enhancing your body. And because it's a mental, it's a mindset, it's spiritual, it's all the above. We have one temple. There's a lot of things in this world we can't control, but there are a few things we can control. That's our mindset and our bodies. And so that's why I've always put a big emphasis around that. And that's how I really kind of got into training, seeing some people that I admired and wanting to kind of follow those footsteps and got hooked.
Great. I love it. So let's take a step back. You said that you played college football. What college did you play for?
I went to the University of Nevada, Reno, UNR with Wolfpack. Yeah.
So that's D1.
That's D1.
Okay.
D1. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I had a full ride scholarship there, and
oh, no way.
And that was fun. That's a different type of lifestyle when you're playing D1, and you've got the scholarship. You don't have to worry about working too hard on outside of things. It's more so working on the field, making sure that your schoolwork is going well and all those great things. And then you're almost like a celebrity on campus. So
right.
That's a lot of fun too. So that was a great period of my life that really taught me what it means to work hard and to finish. I think that was the biggest thing, because going through a program like that, you have a number of athletes that come and go, believe it or not. My recruiting class, we had 25 people. I think when we graduated, it was 4 of us.
Wow.
So there were people will come and go all the time, but it's a matter about finishing. And you take that lifelong lesson with you forever. Anything you start, finish it.
Right.
So that's good.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, because I don't know if you know about my story. I think I told you about it in the past when I used to run, and I was basically highly recruited. I didn't run essentially to my best abilities because I did get injured. But the training that you have to do and to take, like, you got to be dedicated every single day. You got to live it. You got to breathe it. Yeah. And it's just like I respect anybody. Like, even if the person didn't go to professional ball, like, just to get into D1 and to start and to play on D1. Tell us about that. Like, what was the training like, and like what high school did you go to, and what did you do every single day to make sure that you got that full ride scholarship?
Yeah, so the story behind that, I actually went to a private school in San Jose called Bellarmine. Shout out to the Bells.
Yep,
Bellarmine
I know
College
them. Yep.
Prep. And I lived in Hollister. Hollister is about 50 miles south of San Jose. So I had to commute every day. I had to commute by train and by bus. It was a 100-mile recruit, just to get to school. But the reason why I wanted to go there is because I wanted to get a full ride football scholarship. That was my goal since I was 14 years old, and I set out to do that. And I said the best opportunity for me to do that is to go to a highly presentable school. Mm-hmm. A school that's got great reputation, and a school that can help me as a vehicle get to where I want to go. So I worked hard, and what does that mean? That means doing my homework every day. That means not hanging out on the weekdays. That means taking the train and training afterwards, and doing things on the weekend, running ramps at my house, running with my dog, eating right, changing my diet. It used to be, eat some McDonald's or something like that. No, I had to change my diet to chicken all the time, and ran track. Just did everything I possibly could to get to that next level. And a lot of it was researching and modeling after individuals that have done it before. I think that's one thing that we could all learn is learning from other people.
Right.
It's about who do you surround yourself with. Great mentors and other individuals that I admire in my life, they've always told me to surround yourself with people that are much smarter than you.
Exactly.
Because it's going to wear off, and it's going to wear onto you, and it's going to help you kind of model what they've done, and they have the recipes for success, so why not follow it?
Of course. Now, at that young age, you're 14, 15, whatever it is in high school, how did you have such a strong influence to have that like strong mindset?
A lot of it boils back to my faith.
Okay.
I'm very faith driven. My grandmother actually kind of raised me throughout the years, and we would go to church all the time. I was raised in the church. I was brought up in the church. I could recite verses, Bible verses, and it's all about faith, right? Mm-hmm. When you look at Jesus, when you look at Christianity in general, it's about believing in the things that are unseen. And I think that's what helped me stay motivated, helped me stay hungry, because as long as you have that faith and you believe not only in yourself, you believe in the higher power, the results will come. And it doesn't just come overnight. It's constantly ticking away at it. It's constantly chipping away like the wall of Jericho. And eventually it'll fall, just one piece at a time. So that's really where it all derives from, my faith. Gotcha.
So if you don't mind me asking, are you like a Christian, Catholic, or?
Yeah, Christian. Yeah,
okay.
Christianity, absolutely.
Got it. Now, as far as the workouts and everything that you were doing, like, did you have like a trainer back then that was training you, or were you just like watching all these videos and like sprinting and doing all types of crazy stuff? Like, how did you know what to do?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's all about coaching.
Okay.
Everything's about coaching. Again, it boils back down to surrounding yourself with people who know what they're doing, people that have done it before, and admiring that, and being transparent, open, and eager to learn from them. Mm-hmm. So I've had some great coaches in my life, coaches that I did not have to pay for, mm-hmm. because I reached out and said, please, just train me. Just throw me the football. Do something. Help me understand how to backpedal. Mm-hmm. I had a guy in my neighborhood who's still one of my best friends now. He was about 15 years older than me. Mm-hmm. But I would go knock on his door after he got off of work, and I'd be like, man, can you just throw me the football? Like, I got to work on my backpedal. I need to be able to catch the ball at the high point. Uh-huh. And because I was so eager and so hungry I would bother him all the time. He just got to the point where he loved to just work out with me and train me. And then he started taking me to the gym, and he found that because of my dedication, he was willing to pour back into me.
Right.
And so I've had a lot of great coaches over the years, from my track coaches, the football coaches, but it's all about being open, transparent, being eager, hungry, and people will reciprocate that to you and really invest in you.
Right. And I can kind of relate to that as well, too, because my track and field coach, he basically did showed me the way, if you stay disciplined, if you go ahead and do this. He actually told me something that really stuck with me. Yeah. He basically told me, he was like, hey, because I wanted to try for the basketball team. And he basically said, you're not going to go to the NBA. He's really real with me. He's like, you're not going to go to the NBA. You should try doing this track thing because you're really good at track. And I see your potential, and I took that from him. And I was like, he told me that I was a freshman. I was like, you know what? I'm going full force. Yeah. And then I just, the potential just went crazy. For you, when did you know that you had the potential to go D1?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, again, it started with 14 years old was a big game changer for me.
Did you do what is it called? Like the
Pop
football?
Warner?
Pop Warner, yeah. Did you do Pop Warner, and were you just scoring touchdowns, just juking everybody and everything like that? Like, there had to be a point where it's just like, okay, I'm good. Like, cause me, I started winning races and I was undefeated, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna keep going, and then I started beating everybody, and I was on varsity as a freshman. What did you do? And there had to be some type of confidence booster that you had at that young age.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no bigger confidence booster than results and accomplishments. And so when I was 14, that's when I started playing football. Pop Warner in Hollister. One of my neighbors, one of my good friends, he was on the football team. He's like, hey, come out, just try out. I've never played football before, just other than in the streets, and went out there to play contact ball and found out that I was good. They would throw the ball to me, hand off the ball to me, pitch the ball to me. I scored touchdowns. I make tackles. I think one defining moment for me was actually we had a drill. It was almost like an Oklahoma drill, but it was called King of the Night drill.
Okay.
It's basically a toughness drill. It's you line up 2 yards away from one another. You got a pad in the middle. One person's carrying the ball. The other person's tackling the person. Uh-huh. And you go back and forth. Whoever you stop the person from crossing the line, or you get past the line as the ball carrier. And I won that. I was crowned stud of the night my first year playing football. And that's kind of when I knew I had not only the physical toughness and the ability, but I had the mental toughness, because that's what it was. It was about lining up against someone and saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to get across that line, or I'm going to stop you from getting across that line. And that's what kind of gave me the confidence and showed up in my abilities to take it to the next level.
Gotcha. Now, in high school, right, you said you got the D1 scholarship, full ride. Tell me about that. I know when I got those letters of intent, they're just coming in, they're just coming in, and it's just my coach would be like, look, something came in the mail for you today. Something came in the mail for you today. And I was just like walking through the class, and looking at it. I'm like, oh man. And I'm so happy. And people don't really know that, but how was your experience when you had all those letters that were coming in?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. That's funny you bring that up, because I was asking my mom. I remember I had a huge box full of letters. Where'd all my letters go? I wish my mom still had them. I don't know where they went. We moved. Something happened. Yeah. But it was fun. You would get those letters in class, and then you said someone walk up to you from the office, have a handful of letters, and everyone in the class is looking oh, where'd you get a letter from? Oh, Nebraska. Oh, UCLA. Oh, it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
That's such a great moment. I just really remember that. That's something that stuck with me, and that feeling of having it is just crazy. Mm-hmm. Now, What made you want to go to the University of, is it Nevada?
Nevada.
Because you had a lot of opportunities or whatnot.
Yeah.
What was that one thing that kind of stuck with you and was like, I want to go to Nevada?
Yeah, a lot of it had to do with coaching. There was one coach in particular, Coach Mastro. He recruited me. He was from the San Jose area. He went to San Jose State actually, and he worked well with me. I felt a good strong bond with him, and then went out on my visit. And it was interesting. They have all 4 seasons there out in Reno, so I was like, oh, this is a little different. But it worked well for me, and I felt like this would be the place for me. And I have no regrets about the University of Nevada, Reno. We won bowl games, championships. It was a phenomenal experience. So
right,
yeah, that's what really stuck out.
Now, when you were when you were there, and then playing against D1, you're a wide receiver, is that correct? Corner,
defensive back,
right?
Yeah.
So now playing against other D1 athletes compared to like being in high school or whatnot, like how was that transition? It's like you're with the top dogs now, like you got to do whatever it can to stay at that top peak. Like tell me about that difference that you had on there.
Yeah, I liken it a lot to business, to the business world, right? You want to be around the top business players. You want to be the Googles, the Apples of the world. And what it's like is understanding that you got to up your game, that no one should outwork you. Like you have on your sign, never not working. Like Jordan, always practicing. Like Kobe, always practicing. And in order to do that, you've got to do all the little things as well. It's a lifestyle change, like you said. So it's fun. There's a little bit of a fear factor there because you're like, oh man, this guy going up against like a Nebraska or something. You got offensive linemen 6'7", 295, 300 pounds coming around to pull and take you out. But at the end of the day, you realize that it boils down to mindset and that we all put our pants on the same way. So let's go.
Yeah. Now, like as a football player, right? Your diet is super important because with me, when I was running cross country, track, whatever, I could eat whatever I want, and I was running, 70, 80, 90 miles, and I'm not gaining nothing, right?
Wow.
I'm losing weight, actually, and I'm having to eat 4,000 calories, like, a day to make sure that I don't, I'm healthy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of diet did you have in college? Because I hear all these crazy things about diets in college, like, oh, I'm only eating this, only eating that, or how was your diet in college?
We had a good diet. They invest in the football team.
Yeah.
All the big schools, they invest in the football team. You've got a training table is what they call it, where it's all buffet style. You just eat as much as you possibly can because we're practicing 3 hours a day just on the field. We do speed work another hour, and then we have an hour and a half of workouts. So every single day you're training almost 6 hours a day. And so you're burning a lot of calories. 6 hours a day training.
Every day?
Every day. Even on game day, you're still training. You're still going through like the warm-ups and pregame workouts, all those things. You're training 6 hours every single day.
I gotta ask you. So when you were in college, would you say that's the best shape of your life that you ever been in?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I think I seen actually one of your pictures. I think it was like in a BNI presentation. I was just like, jeez.
that was long past college too. I mean, college, man. Literally, you're training 6 hours a day and eating as much as you possibly can, just to, like you said, maintain your weight because you're burning calories like none other.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that transition, right? You pro ball, and then you went into business, right?
Yeah.
You went into business, and talk about like why did you choose GYMGUYZ? I think you're probably looking at a couple of other franchises. You told me as well too. Like, why GYMGUYZ and why not other businesses?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So why GYMGUYZ? So the short story is, after college, after my football career, I went into tech. I went into technology here in the Bay Area because that's what it's all about, tech sales, because I'm a sales guy. I love sales. Those are things I enjoy doing.
What did you do as a tech salesperson? Like, were you just
I was
SDR?
cybersecurity. So I was a account executive. I was sales director ultimately, is what I moved up to. I was a sales director. I had enterprise accounts. I was working with AT&T, Walmart, all the big dogs. I was traveling every week. at an unlimited American Express with no limit on the credit card of taking all my clients out to football games and suites and all those great things. A lot of fun working at Hewlett Packard, like cybersecurity pioneer of that time. We had a lot of fun. We made a lot of money.
What age were you working there?
I was working there from 25 is when I started.
And then until what age?
Until I just stopped about 7 years ago. So I was there until I'm 36 now. So I was there until I was 31.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
31, 32. Yeah.
What made you at that point? Okay, you're going back and forth. I'm sure you're making some good money in tech sales, especially when it was booming or whatnot. Mm-hmm. You're making a good salary. Why do you say in your head, like, okay, I want to go do this franchise?
Yeah, no, that there was a turning point. There was a turning point because you kind of look up at the glass ceiling. You realize, hey, I want to make $1 million in sales. Okay, you could do that. It's possible. Mm-hmm. But at some point, it becomes more than about the money. It's about, and this is where my faith finally really came in, because when I went to college, I kind of lost my faith. I'll just be honest. Okay. It was a different world.
I get it.
At that point, right? It's party, it's football, it's all those great things. Mm-hmm. After college, it came back to me, and I started to realize that it's more than just making money. It's more than just popping bottles and having fun and all that great stuff. It's about serving others.
Right.
That was my calling. It's like, how can I serve others? And so when I was at Hewlett Packard, they had a huge state-of-the-art gym. I'd work out there, and all my colleagues, a lot of engineers, they'd come up to me, Shannon, can you work out with me? Can you train me or something? Yeah, of course. Let's train together. Mm-hmm. I just train people all the time. I just love training with people. That was my favorite thing to do. And I realized, I'm like, man, there's like a niche here. Like, there's all these engineers, and they don't know what to do. They're stressed out. They got cholesterol, all these other issues. Well, what's going on? And so the other thing was that I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Okay. Growing up at that 14-year-old mark, that's when I realized, like, I wanted to do my own thing. I had a paper route, and I was like, I'd make my own money. I had an ATM card when I was an early teenage, and I want to be an entrepreneur. I remember on my cell phone, I had a voicemail that I would leave. I would say, hey, this is, you had your own message you would record. Yeah. I say, hey, please leave a message. This is future entrepreneur, Mr. Shannon Sevor. That's what I used to say all the time.
No way.
When I was 14, yeah.
Okay.
And so it was like, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so at some point in HP, I was on LinkedIn. A career coach reached out to me and was like, hey, how would you like to kind of own your own business, do your own thing? I've got some opportunities. I'm like, oh, I'm interested in that. And so I took some time. I actually got with a career coach. I paid for a career coach to figure out, like, what do I want to do with my life? Like, I feel like I'm at a turning point. And it boiled down to 3 areas when I outlined my career. It's like, I love business. I love sales. I love doing that. I love fitness. I really love fitness. I like fashion as well. I like dressing up. I like looking well. Those are my 3 things that I really love. Mm-hmm. So how can I incorporate all of that into my next career? And ultimately, how does that all correlate with my bigger mission of serving as many people as I possibly can? And that's when GYMGUYZ came across my plate. That was one of many franchises that came across. And I looked at the model of GYMGUYZ, and I was like, wow, this is in-home personal training. Okay, got the fitness aspect. That's great. Oh, you own your own business, entrepreneur. Great. Okay, get to have your own swag, figure out how you want to market, all those things. And then finally, you're serving people. And there's no limit to it. This thing can scale to millions and millions of people. That's my goal. I want to get to serving 1 million people a week in what we do, whether that's through classes, whether that's through working with the government, whether that's doing individual one-on-one training or virtual training. I want to be able to serve 1 million people. That to me is fulfilling. And so GYMGUYZ, it checked all the boxes there, and I was ready to go.
I love it. I love that story. Now, when you were looking at certain like, was it only just GYMGUYZ, or were you actually looking at different franchises? Because, you got to do your due diligence and whatnot and make sure that you're making the right decision. I'm sure you looked at, I forgot what it's called, but like the FDD or whatever it is. Yep. You look at the FDD, you take a look at all the sections, you take a look at what are these other franchises making and everything like that. I'm sure you called a couple around to some franchises as well too. Like, what was that process, and how long did that process take? And was GYMGUYZ the only one you looked at?
No, I looked at a lot. I looked at, like, cleaning companies. I looked at restaurants, fast food, all that stuff. I looked at all that stuff. The vetting process was a 9-month process for me.
Wow.
It took me 9 months. I worked with the recruiter from GYMGUYZ for literally 7 months. we would talk every other day, and I would just keep hounding him. Hey, like, is this gonna work? Like, asking every single question. And then what really did it for me was working with the CEO founder of GYMGUYZ.
Oh wow,
Josh York.
Okay.
Josh York, he's only a few years older than me, but that guy, he's an animal, man.
Uh-huh.
You see his podcast, all his stuff he does, he is an animal. I got so much respect for him. He's my mentor. He's my guy.
Uh-huh.
And I remember meeting him for the first time on Zoom, and he was just like, yo, Shannon, man. He's a New Yorker. Yo, Shannon, man, this is going to be the best fit for you, man. I can already see it in you, man. You got the energy. We could do this. And I'm like, let's go. Like, let's go. Like, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of someone, an organization that is forward thinking, that pushes out the negativity,
right,
and focuses on the positive stuff. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough. There's been times where I'm like, how am I gonna make payroll?
Right,
I got 40 employees, W-2. I'm pulling stuff from 401k. I don't even know where this money's coming from half the time. But I'm praying, I'm faithful, because I know that at the end of the day, we're doing a just cause, and everything's gonna work out.
Right.
You know how it is.
Yeah, man. So like, it's so great, and that's why I really wanted you to get in here.
Yeah.
We want to do the virtual. I was like, nah, I gotta get you in here. The energy, just like you said with the founder, the energy is great, and like, I want to touch on a point there where you talk about the payroll, because I be like, I'm like, oh man, like cash flow issues, and like there's like you gotta wait on, I'm waiting on this payment, and then I got this, I got invoices, and it's just like there's so many things that you gotta handle, but you believe in yourself and you bet on yourself. It's like, all right, I'm gonna pull from here, I'm gonna pull from there, I'm gonna pull from there, and we're good, right? And then we make the payroll, and it's like, all right, what do we got to take on this next week? What's coming up? And then it's just like, man, and then but it gets to a point, like I'm at a point where it's just like, okay, cool, like everything is more situated, and it's like, I can foresee things now, and it's like the planning is a little bit different. Like,
great.
I know with you, the journey has been crazy, right? You say you got 40 employees now?
Yeah, man.
Wow, 40 employees in what time frame?
Well, we're going in our 5th year now. So yeah, we started. It was just myself. Yeah, and I brought my cousin on. He was employee number 1. So we went from 1 to 2 people to 40 people over 5 years now. So
talk about that growth, right? Because like being able, you got, let's just say when you first start, it's just yourself. You got maybe a couple other people part time or whatnot, but like, managing 40 people, like talk about that, and talk about the stress and energy that it kind of comes along with.
It's a lot. It's a lot dealing with people. You know that.
Yeah.
And again, it's about being positive all the time. I've got a routine, a ritual, if you will. Every single morning I wake up 5 a.m. I'm up first thing in the morning. I gotta read my Bible. I gotta pray. I gotta meditate. These are the things I've got to do just on my own, and then get into my workout every single day. It's a non-negotiable, so that I'm mentally ready, so that I'm at my very best, so that I can serve the rest of my team and all my clients. Managing 40 people is not an easy thing. I've got my right-hand man who's our head coach, who takes on the blunt of all of that. But every day I'm hearing stuff. Every day I'm being contacted. All day. Phone's always ringing. Shannon, I need this. How do we do this? What's going on with here? All the time. And it's a balancing act. It's trying to balance the work life. The one thing that I could say that's been a lot different from working in corporate to owning your own business is just the level of involvement. You never stop working. You're always on.
Right.
Always on.
It doesn't matter, like, if you're not working, you're just thinking about, like, the next thing. And it's just, like, going, constant, going. You wake up, it's like, okay, I got this, and this, but let me take care of this first. But, all right, after this, I got this, and this. It's so crazy. And, that's why I love connecting with you on it, because we relate so much on it. Hey guys, if you really like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. This will help the channel grow drastically. Share this to 5 different people that you think can benefit from it. Now back to the video. Now let me ask you this. You've been in business 5 years. Yeah. You know that, I don't know if you know this, I'm sure you do, but like 97% of businesses fail within 5 years. Yeah. So like you made it past that point, right? Yeah. Making it past that point. Now, did you have like a time in the business where it was like, okay, this is a turning point, and like we're good, like, did you catch that somewhere? And what year did you catch that? Or if you did catch that?
We haven't even caught that yet. I don't even feel like we're good.
No.
No, I mean, we're cash flow positive, things like that, but I don't feel like we're good yet. I think with the contract that we just signed with the city of San Jose that we'll be executing in January, where we're working, we've got 65 classes that we're going to be doing 3 days a week. I think that's going to give me a little bit more breathing room, wiggle room. But even that, you got to invoice that every month as well. So I don't feel like we're there yet. And the thing is, that's fine because I've never expected that. I expected get to the 5th year first, just survive to get to the 5th year. Right, thriving is another thing, but survival, making sure you built a brand, making sure you have a team that is intelligent enough to stick with you for this entire journey. Right, a team is huge, and then it's like I don't feel like we've really done anything until we get to our 10-year mark. Right, that's the mark of a company for me. It's 10 years, and so we're not there yet.
I love it. And it's one thing, like, you know, I've always seen this in you, especially when I first met you. It's like we always want to go, like, what's the next goal? What's the next thing that we want to get to? Because with me, for myself, it's like people always tell me, they're like, oh, you know, congratulations on this. Somebody the other day was like, congratulations. And I was like, for what? And they're like, what you built. Because they came into the warehouse, they took a look at everything, and they're like, just congratulations. And I was like, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. I was like, this is just the start, you know? And I'm just like, man, I see what I've done, but like, I want, you know, I want more, you know? I'm sure you can relate to that as well too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, you're doing a heck of a job though, Stephen, man. You're someone that I admire. I mean, I've seen your journey too. So you've put in the work and it's showing. So
vice versa.
That's one thing with being business owners, entrepreneurs is we're pretty hard on ourselves.
Right.
Let's be honest. Right? We're pretty hard on ourselves. Because we know there's always more. There's always more to do. And it's important to celebrate those small victories, too. So I feel you on that. I'm the same way. There's so much more growth to do, so many more things. And it's funny because you'll talk to the rest of your team, and they're like, man, we did great. So, yeah, we did. Okay. All right, let's
go.
Something else going. There's more to do. Right? But that's just the way. That's the nature of the beast.
So now, you know, in a franchise, right? Because like I've looked at franchises. I listened to a couple of franchise podcasts, Franchise Empires, Franchise Secrets, and I listened to all of them, right? Yeah. And like, there's so many great things in a franchise. Yeah. Like, talk about the support that you kind of get from, you know, from corporate, right? Yeah, like, and that's like the main reason why people want to join a franchise because they got that whole blueprint. Like, can you talk to me and elaborate how the blueprint and everything like that has helped you in your business?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, as I said, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I never wanted to have to start something from scratch, to build something just like with my own idea. I'm not as smart as you. I'm not that imaginative. But I knew that I could take an idea and I could multiply it, I can magnify it, I can make it a whole lot better. And so that's what the franchise is all about. GYMGUYZ has a great brand. They have a great business model, but they allow you to be free and to express your own vision, your creativity in it, right? We're the only ones out here in Silicon Valley, and we're the #1 franchise out of 78 in the whole country. And that's just because we've taken the blueprint, but we've magnified it, we've changed it, we've done things that have made it really cool. And corporate's been backing us the whole way. They're constantly giving us support. We have a great marketing team. Our CMO, he was a former CMO of Wyndham Properties, so he knows all about that. He was a Fortune 500 CMO. So the knowledge that he has, that he implements into the vision of GYMGUYZ, and just being able to talk to these guys on a regular, to be able to just call my guy Phil up, who's a Fortune 500 CMO, and to have conversations with him about how to position digital marketing, how to position pricing, how to influence our clients and do all these things. It's so great to have these resources available, because it would have been so much harder to do it on our own. So
yeah, and it's I know, because for me personally, like, building something from the very bottom, it's tough. It's super tough. And then, like, I was never in the moving industry, so just like figuring everything out as I came, it sucked. So I tell myself, if I'm, you know, when I am going to open up other locations, I'm looking to go through mergers and acquisitions, and going ahead and scaling that way, because like brand new, I mean, it's cool, but like there's so many other factors that could kind of get in there. Like, you know, when you did GYMGUYZ, you know, was there like, I know there's like franchise fees and everything like that. did you have to kind of come up with like a franchise fee? With
Yeah, it was big money. I had to pull out from my 401k. That's what this whole program was about. The career coach. They're like, because I'm like, how can I afford this? They're like, oh, well, you can use your 401k. They have a program called ROBS, which is a rollover business startup, where you can take your 401k and put it into a business startup, and you don't have to pay all the penalties and the fees that are associated with pulling from your 401k early. So thankfully, HP, being in there for 7 years, I built up a really good nest egg of my 401k, and I was able to throw six figures at my business to get it started and to do all these great things. And so that was a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that.
So let's talk about, your marketing. I love marketing. I've seen your signs all across San Jose. I was doing the same thing all across like the Bay Area over here too. Mm-hmm. And like, you're the one who told me about it. You're like, they hit. And I was like, I see your signs everywhere. I even seen your billboard. Yeah. I think I had a billboard, you had a billboard, and it was like, okay, I see you, Shannon. Yeah. So like, tell me about, your thought process on marketing, because, you're a marketer, you're a sales guy. So I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand.
Absolutely. People need to know who you are. They need to have a way to get to you, to understand even more about you. And they need to have an easy channel to interact with you. So marketing is very, very important. It's vital. And so we do an omni-channel approach. We like to do everything from signs to billboards to door hangers to podcasts to social media, to you name it. We'll do everything we possibly can to make sure that we get in front of potential clients and that there's strong brand awareness. It is very important. So, and then the other thing is measuring the success.
Right. I was going to ask,
finding ways to measure it, to have the baseline, to understand, okay, this is where we were before we implemented this program. Where are we at now? And so we've been able to measure our success very well. And we found some secret sauces along the way. We had this cool contract with the KRTY.
What's that?
KRTY was the only country music channel in the Bay Area. It was. Unfortunately, they went out. Yeah,
so let me wait. So KRTY. So you had a contract.
We had a contract with them. So we worked with them. Yeah.
So did you train them, or were you guys like on the radio with them? Because I know you were doing like radio ads, and like you told me about that too. And I was like, radio ads. I was like, don't you have to do that for like a really long time? How did you get that contract, and were you on the ads with them? How did that work out?
Yeah. We did an endorsement deal with their talk show, morning show host. His name is Gary Scott Thomas. Shout out to my man, GST. He's the guy. And Gary, the endorsement contract was that we would train him, and we still had to pay some funds too as well. But we trained him, and we'd pay a little less than most people to have ads and commercials, and basically to have him be our number one fan on his morning show. And Gary had been on that KRTY radio show for over 30 years. He has the most loyal client base of listeners. These people will do anything Gary asks him to do. And he doesn't even know that. He didn't even know that. Mm-hmm. And so I was approached by an account executive. She was really cool. Her name is Jeanette. And she was like, hey, have you ever thought about advertising with the country music channel? I was like, no, country. I don't even listen to that. You serious? Like, is that even our cup of tea? Turns out, yeah, they are a cup of tea. They're very cool people. They a lot of them are Christians. A lot of them have all these higher level jobs, higher level executive jobs in the tech companies, which is our main avatar of who we really approach as like our baseline client is that tech worker. And so they have a big sphere of influence. They can afford us, and they understand how important health and wellness is. Mm-hmm. And then the other key point to it was that they love Gary Scott Thomas. And so Gary and I, we became best friends. We would train Gary all the time. We go out play golf, and Gary would just shout us out all the time. Hey, I'm here with the GYMGUYZ. They're number one in home. The best thing I like about them is that I don't have to commute. Next thing you know, hey, can I sign up? I heard Gary's doing it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No questions asked. We were signing up people left and right because of Gary Scott Thomas. Unfortunately, KRTY went off the air last year. Oh, it was such a blow. I was like, no. But they're working on some other stuff. They're no longer on the radio waves, but they're on internet radio now.
Got it. That's crazy. So, for us, and I want to ask you this, us as far as like our most profitable marketing ROI. I don't know if it is the same for you, but as far as profit wise, BNI has probably been
really
BNI has the connections that I've made in there and the contracts and like the business that I've got from there has been super, super, super lucrative.
That's
awesome. I'm like, dang. But again, you know, you got to put in the work on there. You got to make the connections and everything like that. So for you, what is your most profitable marketing source?
Yeah, BNI was up there for us. Our group kind of changed a bit. I know you left our group and you went on to greener pastures.
Yeah.
Good thing for you. And I'm now on to greener pastures as well. I'm in a new group too. But BNI was good for us. Our biggest thing is our digital marketing.
Yeah.
It's driving people to our website through Google. We're really big with Google Ads. We've got 130 five-star reviews. And
there you go.
And that's where we get the majority of our business. We work very closely with the company called Scorpion.
I've heard of them. How is that thing? Like, my bad to cut you off, but
no, good.
You know, how is Scorpion? Because I've see their ads everywhere, right? And I'm like, are they good? Because there's so many. I was actually talking to Chris. I was talking to Chris about this last week because like there's so many SEO companies, marketing companies that say we'll get you the first page of Google, you know. And I'm like, I can't trust you. So like, you know, how is that for you?
Scorpion's been good. They're good. I'd say they're about 85-90% of satisfaction for me. We have some gripes sometimes because they'll change a keyword in our search or something and it'll just destroy our leads for the week, which is big money that we're missing out on. But they're very responsive. I work with their team every single week. Every Friday, I have a standing call with my digital marketing team to make sure that we're on point. We go over all of our leads. We make sure all of our leads are touched. We make sure everything's optimized with the SEO engine. We make sure that our price per click is at an optimal level. Yeah, I dive deep into digital marketing. That's one thing that I've learned. It's our recipe for success. It's a very big key factor to getting the qualified leads and all those things. And so there's a big formula with Google and how to master those things. And so that's where I spend the majority of my time. When you talk about social media posts, I post on Google My Business all the time. That's where you'll see thousands of our photos and clients' testimonies and everything there because we are the top page on that when it comes to search. When someone says personal trainer, GYMGUYZ is going to come up in the top 3 slots, and then they're going to see all of our 5-star reviews, and that's how they're going to get driven to our website, and that's how they submit a lead, and we give them a call, and we sign them up for an assessment, and we get going.
Awesome. I love it. Now, GYMGUYZ, right? Tell me, it sounds like a gym, but can you tell us like how it differentiates from the regular trainer? Because we were talking about this before, and it's mind-blowing, right? Because I've never heard of anybody like, you know, as a service. I heard like personal private trainers, but I've never heard of like a company that specializes in that. Can you tell the audience you know, how does that look like and how does that differentiate from the regular trainer?
Big differentiator. Huge differentiator. We provide a comprehensive platform is what I would describe it as. Because not only is it the trainer, not only is it bringing the equipment, not only is it meeting you at your home or work or wherever you're at, it's supplying you with a dietitian. We have a team of licensed dietitians. That was a big game changer for us about 2 years ago, investing in the nutrition part. And we came up with a program. This is something that we developed internally, and it's been now replicated across the system. We've developed a program, a 30-day program with our licensed dietitian where they're meeting with our clients 5 times within those 30 days over Zoom, having consultations with the expectation that they're going to be given a meal recipe program, a plan. So that now you have the meal side, you've got the exercise side, then you've got the entire organization behind you supporting you. We've got your head coach calling, doing pulse checks regularly. And then it's a number of other resources that we bring to your doorstep, whether it be yoga, whether it be martial arts, kickboxing, active stretch. So now it's like everything is coming to your home. And then to top it off, you have a mobile app, proprietary mobile app that we designed. It took us 2 years to really hone in on it. On that mobile app, you've got all your exercises dialed in. So the days you're not with your trainer, you have a whole program to do. All your diet information stored in there. All of your data is stored in there. And that's our 2-way communication through the mobile app. So now there's literally, you've got everything right there. We're managing your health. I think that's the big difference is that now you have a team that supports you from the fact that you don't have to think about what to do. We manage everything, we measure everything, and we tweak and modify accordingly so we can get you to your goals.
I love it. Now, for me, because I know like diet for me is like has been like one of the hardest thing to do. Like counting your macros, eating the right food. We're so busy, right? We're so busy, and like I have to like always eat. I'm always hungry, and I try to fast or whatnot. But like I run so much, but I don't run as much as I did before. So like I'm not in the best shape of my life. But like, the diet that you have for your guys' clients, how do you keep them accountable on there, right? Like, do they tell you what they eat or what they don't eat? Like, how do you keep them accountable?
We got to. They have got to tell us everything. And with that 30-day program, the dietitian is on them. She's making sure that the diet is based on their culture, their lifestyle, what they enjoy eating, and most importantly, that it coincides with their training plan, their physical aspect of it, so that it's something that they can implement simply into their life. We're giving them actual recipes. These are the foods that you can eat for the rest of your life because it's going to be the best effect for you. And so enforcing that it's not easy at all, but it shows up in the results. So when we do our reassessments after every 6 to 10 sessions, when we come back, we remeasure, we do all of our performance tests, and we look at your scale weight and all the waist to hip ratio and all those things. And then you sit down with your head coach on Zoom and he's looking at your results and we're talking about it. And they're like, well, I haven't accomplished my goal. I didn't lose 25 pounds. Well, we can see here that you didn't check in with your diet. You didn't finish your dietitian program. You didn't go through the 5-phase process. So that's a big reason why. Okay, well, phase 2, when we go through the phase 2, now it's a renewal opportunity. Now we can really reinforce how important that diet is to you. Because if you really want to get these goals, if you want to invest in yourself and get a good return on that, because you're paying big money for this. This is life-changing. Right. If you want to make the most of your money, you better do what we ask you to do.
Right. So now, when you talk about that, right, talk about that business model. I'm very interested in that business model. Like, how does that look like? Is it just because you're doing a life-changing service for them, right? For us, we're doing a moving service. We're expensive, right? We're super expensive because it's a service, super service industry, and we cater to the higher end clientele, right? So, that business model with you, are they paying per session? Is it like per diet? Is it, accountability? Is it coaching, consulting? How does that look like?
Yeah. So it's pay up front.
It's pay up front.
It's pay up front. It's put $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 down now. Yeah.
Wow.
It's right now. Let's do it. Because at the end of the day, you got to have skin in the game. And that's how you get results, right? Free means nothing to anyone that it doesn't mean anything to, right? We can give you something for free, but if you don't value it, it doesn't matter. But you start putting your money into something that's supposed to be good for you, where it requires you to put in work, you're going to do those things. And so people put in $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 in their program, their 3, 6, or 12-month program, and then they get the results and they realize that not only have I gotten the results, but my lifestyle has changed. That's the biggest thing. So it's like, would you pay $10,000 to change your life if you've been obese for the past 25 years, if you've had diabetes and high cholesterol and hypertension and all these things that are going to shorten your lifespan? Would you be willing to spend that amount of money up front knowing that you're going to change your life? Most people will say yes to that. Yeah. Because anyone can do the surgery. They talk about it all the time. Well, my other alternative, I can get the surgery for free. My Google covers it for me. But you'll be right back here in another 6 months. Right. And so they realize that. And a lot of our clients have done the surgery.
Wow.
They've done that. They've tied their stomach up and shrunk their stomach and done all this stuff and taken every medication, the diabetes, the Ozempic, that's the new diabetic pill that helps you lose weight as well. We still take those clients. They come to us anyways because they know like there's only so much I can do with this pill. Yeah, it suppresses my appetite and all these things, but I'm flabby. I have no muscle mass. I don't even feel good. I'm depressed. I know I need exercise. I know I need a coach. I know I need accountability. So I'm willing to pay for that. Right.
That's crazy. Now, it sounds like you have a lot of clients, right? It sounds like it's a huge space because I know when I've looked in the gym space. I'm always fascinated by so many things. Gym space is a huge. The fitness industry is a huge industry. Yeah. For us, I think the moving and storage is a $23 billion industry, and there's like 7,000, 8,000 moving companies out there. Do you know what your market cap is, and how big is the actual fitness space?
The fitness space is huge.
Right?
It's going to be probably at least $30 to $40 billion industry. At least. But fitness, how do you define fitness? There's so many subcategories within that. I think it's healthy living at the end of the day, and health and wellness is always going to be there. Despite all the new technology advancement, the AI stuff, AI is huge. And we use that all the time, actually, from the chat GPT to understanding how we can get most effective to our clients, right? Because at the end of the day, you can have every instructional video, you can have every plan in the world, but at the end of the day, you still got to do the work.
Right.
You've got to do the work. You've got to diet. You've got to exercise. And that's the human aspect of it. That's the differentiator. That's why health and wellness will always be a big thing in the U.S. and in the world, because at the end of the day, in order to live long and to age well, we've got to be healthy. And it's not just about knowing what to do, it's actually doing it.
Exactly. Now, for your business, how many clients do you have? And do you have like a process to retain them? Because fitness is a journey. It's people do fitness lifelong. How many clients do you have, and what do you guys kind of do to retain those clients?
Yeah, so we have over 1,000 clients, over 500 clients active every day. And we have a big process around retention. That's huge for us. After that 2-year mark, our revenue share has shifted significantly. It used to be 70% new business because we were just starting off, and then 30% renewals and retention. Now it's 70-30 the other way. It's all about retention, right? That's where we make the majority of our money, is retaining our clients, because we'll sell them a 6-week program, or then we'll sell them a 3-month program. And so every month we're looking at our numbers and we're seeing, okay, how many of our 500 active clients this week are up for renewal? How many of them have 5, 10 or less sessions remaining and they're ready to go into phase 2? So that's a big chunk of our business, and it's a very refined process. The way we do renewals, the way we retain our clients is all about results. It's constantly checking in with them. It's constantly communicating with them. It's making sure that they're staying on track, and then expressing, and through our coaches, through our trainers, painting that vision, that road for success, because there's always something next, right? 3 months is great, yeah, but hey, you want to lose 100 pounds? You want to lose 10 inches off your waist from 25 years of bad behavior in your life? It's not going to happen in 3 months. Let's be real. You give me all the money in the world, but it's not going to happen in 3 months. This is a journey. This is a process. And that's where the renewal, the retention piece is so important. It's constantly painting that picture of positivity that you're on the right track. It's not just about the weight on the scale. It's about other process goals. Hey, have you been a little bit happier? Has your sleep gotten better? Right. Do you feel more energetic? Are you more positive? Right? Are you less insecure? Are you going out more? These are all the little things that add up to show more value as to why people want to continue to keep working with us.
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. Now, as far as like your guys' overhead that you guys have, you guys are a on-call, so you guys, it doesn't seem like you guys have an overhead, right? So does that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, do you guys have an overhead?
Well, yeah, we don't necessarily have a physical building like this, thank God. But our payroll is just out of control. I mean, that's what I always consider our biggest overhead, because we pay our trainers premium, we're paying for their gas, and we're mobile. You see gas prices right now.
That's true.
So we're paying for our clients to go all over. I mean, our reach is from San Francisco down to Gilroy, all the way across the peninsula, all the way over to Pleasanton in the East Bay. So we've got 5-10 coaches in each major pocket throughout Silicon Valley, traveling every single day, serving clients, doing classes, working with the government, all these things. So our overhead is around equipment, portable equipment, customized equipment, and then we've got overhead from just working with all of the expenses that come with our employees.
Gotcha. That makes total sense, because I mean, for us, for sure, our overhead is mainly employees, right? And it's they eat up the whole payroll. It's just it's the honest.
Eat well too.
Yeah, it's the honest truth. But we need them in order to serve our clients at the end of the day. And then we also have our huge marketing expense, of course. I'm sure you have a huge marketing expense on there to gain the new clients on there. Is there any other like high value costing expenses that that you guys have?
Well, we've got the payroll. We've got all the insurances that go behind.
How many trucks do you guys have?
So we only have 2 trucks. We only got 2 trucks. Yeah, all of our coaches and trainers, they drive their own vehicles.
Ah.
Yeah, I had to change that up real quick after so many accidents happening in the vehicles. It's like, yeah, no, you guys are driving your own vehicles now. We'll pay for your gas, but we're not going to give you company because it's different, right? People are going to take better care of their own vehicle, and we try to keep them within a 10-mile radius of their home. We don't want them driving all over the world. We try to keep them as close as possible, but they're still driving at the end of the day, and we prefer for them to drive their own vehicles.
I love it. Now, let's talk about, you said you got 40 employees, right? I have, we have about 40, 30 to 40, sometimes 50 employees during the summertime. It kind of goes up and down. And the retention on there is tough, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's always hard to find those really, really good employees, those stars, you know? How has the retention been on there? And is it like is there a lot of like turning in, turning out for new employees?
Yeah, I mean, we've had our core group of 10 trainers that have been with us since day one that are still with us. These are our A stars. These are our highest paid. That's our core. And then we have outliers, and then we have mid-tier, and then we've got the lower tier. So we're always constantly recruiting. We're always looking to fill gaps. We're always looking for new opportunities. So the retention piece it's always a challenge. It really is. But as long as you have your core group that you really trust in, confine in, and you treat them well, they'll be with you for the long haul. And then it's a matter of constantly recruiting, finding that next best person. Thankfully, my right hand, my VP of operations, he handles all that stuff because that's a whole nother story. I'm on the front end of the business. He handles all the back end stuff. So thankfully that's good. He's got that locked in.
So tell me, what does your day typically look like? I know for me, my days, I do my workouts. I got to run in the morning to get my stress level, perfect. And then I'm always in the sales and marketing. I love everything about sales and marketing. How does your days look like?
Yeah, similar. Getting teed up in the morning, making sure that I'm good physically, mentally, spiritually, all those great things, and then I'm customer facing, I'm client facing a lot. I do a lot of business interactions like this, a lot of face to face with other entrepreneurs, and then other executives that we're looking to do business with. I'm really hyper focused on working, as the cliche goes, working more on the business than in the business. Again, I look at it like your first 5 years, your head's down. Right. You get to 10 years, and man, you can pull your head up at that point. Right. But right now, I'm still locked in. I don't do any training or anything like that, fortunately, thank God. But I do a lot of our client interactions initially, making sure, doing a lot of these sales, I have 2 other salespeople on my team, but I'm the top salesperson. That's what I always consider myself. The CEO's got to be the top salesperson. Right. That's just how it has to be, whether it's working with individual clients or working with companies. CEO's got to sell.
Exactly. Now, for your avatar client, right? Because for us here, our avatar client is a baby boomer. They probably just sold their house, and they got this money, and it's a full pack and move for us. Moves like that are probably $4,000 or $5,000 or whatnot. It's some cool money, Yeah. For you guys, what is your guys' avatar client? Because like there's like speculations on like for trainers, like is it just people that want their life together? Is it overweight people, obese people? There's so many connotations that kind of come along with that. Yeah. What's your avatar client?
That's great. So we have a few different avatars, but I would say our bread and butter, our foundation avatar is a 30-plus-year-old woman that works for Apple, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Instagram, any of those tech companies. That's our avatar, because either one, they've got some chronic condition like obesity or high cholesterol or hypertension, high blood pressure, or depression or high stress levels. That's our avatar. That's our bread and butter. Believe it or not, 70% of our clients are female. They're women.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, it's that working tech mom.
I
because in the Bay Area, you've got to have dual income. Yeah. So moms are working, and they're working for Apple. They're working for Meta, right? But they understand the importance. Like, I got kids. I need to be at my very best. I need some self-care. I need to be training at least 2 days a week.
Oh, okay. That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't really think of it like that. Now, as far as, because I like to ask this, for every person that kind of comes on the podcast, because for us, we have a lot of negative connotations in the industry where stuff gets broken, people steal, all those, crazy things. And, we kind of go against that. And that's what we kind of sell our clients on, the value on there.
I see.
Does your industry and trainers, I've heard some crazy stuff with trainers and whatnot, do they have like a negative connotation that kind of comes along with that space?
I'm sure. And at the end of the day, we have to differentiate ourselves as being an organization, not an independent trainer, not kind of one throat to choke. We vet all of our trainers. All of our trainers go through background screening, drug screening, and they're all insured. And it's a little different from, finding someone on Craigslist that you want to...
On Instagram.
Maybe, on Instagram, come to your house. I don't know if you want to see it from Instagram coming to your house like that. But that's the big differentiator. And so I can understand where there might be some negative connotations with personal trainers coming to your home. But I think that's why our digital marketing presence has to be so polished. Like, you go to our website, you're like, wow, this is a professional
company. Yeah, I've looked over. Yeah,
company. Yeah. So I think that's how we overcome that.
So kind of coming on to the end of the podcast,
Sure.
Where do you see GYMGUYZ, and where do you want to take GYMGUYZ 5 to 10 years from now?
Yeah, man. I want to take over California first off.
Okay.
I think our next stop is Sacramento. I think you were talking about that too. That's a big focus for us. And partnering with these larger corporations, like the city of San Jose, that's phenomenal. That's a huge win for us. We need more of those type of opportunities. We're working on something now with PG&E where we can do something with all of their 27,000 clients, those high-risk clients, those are high-risk employees that have been injured on the job, that have gone through workers' comp. So it's things like that we're looking to get into. And then, of course, serving all of the different pillars within our organization that we focus on. We do a big focus on working with the government, working with the Department of Disability Services, training those individuals that are disabled, and that they're getting funds from the government that they can allocate to us for their health and wellness. That's a big part of our business, because there's tons of people that have autism that are neglected when it comes to health and wellness. You'll be so surprised about what that number looks like. And there's a special way to train those type of individuals. It's called adaptive training. And that's an area that we specialize in. So that's a big focus for us. We want to get over 1,000 plus clients in that category. We want to have over 25 plus corporate contracts, relationships. We want to get into more city municipals, working with that. And then, of course, we want to take over all of California. The goal is to get to 1 million individuals that we're serving on a weekly basis.
I love it. Real quick, those contracts that you get, right? Because I always look at government contracts as well too. They pay well, but they take hella long to pay. But how did you get into? I got a government contract that we're working on the Army right now.
Nice.
Like, how did you get those government contracts?
Yeah. A lot of it's keeping my eye on the prize, looking around, always looking for RFPs. The city of San Jose, the RFPs. The city of San Jose actually reached out to us because we filled out an RFP with the county of Santa Clara right prior to COVID that we didn't win, and it kind of fell off. And then the city of San Jose, they released a similar type of RFP to serve all of their community centers and to create classes and all these things. And so we put our name in there. We went. It was a 9-month process to make sure our RFP was top, and we were selected. We were selected one of the top 2 vendors out of 55 vendors, and we're going up against the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club. But there's something that they really liked about us in our proposal, and we've been executing ever since. So January is game day.
There you go. There you go. I love it. Now, if you had to say something to your younger self, you're at 4. You see yourself, let's say, 14 years old.
Yeah.
What would you're telling them, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur on your phone, whatever is entrepreneur. This Shannon is going to be the entrepreneur, whatever. What would you tell your younger self?
Man, that's I like that question. That's a great question. What would I tell my younger self? I would say to focus in on a few key areas, to really have a strong passion for learning. Mm-hmm. Do everything you possibly can to always learn as much as you can, become an expert. I would say, secondly, really focus on your communication skills. Take that serious. Like, when you're in communication class, like, really, really hone in on that. Communication is key. And now that we're in this big digital age and everyone can get behind Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, all these things, having this type of legitimate, just authentic conversation. It's difficult for a lot of people, believe it or not. You see our clients, I'm telling you, these kids coming out of COVID, I mean, parents are calling us saying, please help train my kid, get him off of this video game, get him out of the room. He hasn't gone to school in 3 years because he's depressed playing video games all day. He doesn't know how to, he can't even talk to me. Like this is real. This is real stuff. So I think communication is huge. And having a passion for learning is definitely big. And then making sure that you understand that it's a game. It takes time to play. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Have patience. Have compassion with yourself. And most importantly, express love. Do everything. Lead with love. So those would be the 3 things I tell myself. Lead with love. Master your communication. Become that master of art of communication. And then most importantly, not most importantly, but definitely seek learning all the time.
There you go.
That's what I tell myself.
I love it. And there you guys have it. You guys with Shannon with GYMGUYZ. Thank you for coming on, Shannon.
Thanks for having me, Steven. Appreciate you, man.